your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Did you know that from birth to age 3, simple activities like talking, playing, reading, and singing can profoundly impact your child's development? Little Moments Count is dedicated to providing parents with the resources they need to make the most of these moments. Visit the website littlemomentscount.org to connect to a collection of resources designed to support you in giving your child the best start in life. That's littlemomentscount.org. Now showing at MIA, artist Mary Sully was a visionary ahead of her time. Born on the Standing Rock Reservation, she worked in near obscurity between the 1920s and 1940s, creating intricate, vividly colored drawings that blend Dakota heritage with modern life. Now on display at the Minneapolis Institute of Art, experience the first solo exhibition featuring Mary Sully's work and see how her art challenges traditional ideas of Native and modern art. Only at MIA and always free to visit. Learn more at artsmia.org. The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas is your pathway to a bachelor's degree. Located in downtown Minneapolis, Doherty Family College offers an affordable education that includes free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass. As a full-time Doherty Family College student, you'll benefit from mentorship from St. Thomas faculty, along with paid internships and support from Minnesota's largest private college. Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Apply now at dfc.stthomas.edu. Doherty Family College, your journey to success starts here.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Rain and snow possible tonight with a low of 28, then Saturday sunshine with a high of 45. Welcome back to warmer weather with the hottest music in the Twin Cities at Crooner's Supper Club in Fridley. Crooner's is located just north of I-694 off Highway 65 and Moore Lake Drive. Check out their food menus and concert schedules at croonersmn.com.
Good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Chujunk, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Dega. This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, it's Fun Fact Friday. We got State Senator Mary Kunesh on, and then we also have a special guest, Kelly Miller. And Kelly is Ramsey County Commissioner in District 7 here in the Twin Cities, and that's a huge deal. And she's a citizen of Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe, so we have more people of native origin that are running for office and winning. So we just want to give a big shout out to her and say Hey, Haley, I want to get to our weekly update with Governor Evers, but first I think it might be appropriate if we go through the Ho-Chunk's Word of the Weeks and talk about that before we get with Tony Evers.
Okay, that sounds good. Repping some Ho-Chunk language here before we get to Governor Evers of the state of Wisconsin. What was the last word that we did? I think we had Arvina Martin pick our Ho-Chunk word on Wednesday.
Bugake.
Bagake.
She kind of went, Bagake.
Yeah, Bagake. Yeah. And that's chicken, if you didn't guess by that sound. Yeah, I thought that one was interesting.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, she said that was her favorite word, and that might have to be mine now too.
Yeah.
Keeping with our animal theme, chicken is not one of our 12 clan animals, but the snake is. So I decided to go with that one today. The Ho-Chunk word for snake is waka. Waka, Waka. We have different roles, and each clan kind of plays those roles. And the snake role or snake clan role is supplying soldiers for warfare and environmental issues of the village. Snake clan also possesses other important political and social functions. So Ho-Chunk word, snake, waka.
That's interesting that, I always kid that, it's, the Sioux it's a Siouan language that,
Mm,
uh, Lakota got from us, and every time I say that,
mm,
they always laugh, but they always
I
say they
know.
got it from them.
Yeah.
But, Wakan teepee and environmental
Oh,
issues, isn't that kinda interesting? Because
waka. Like a little
yeah,
snake, little snakes.
yeah, that
Ugh.
could work a couple different ways. Ho
Yeah. Oh, geez. Oh, geez.
That's an inside joke. Well, and, I guess, we can see, snake, waka,
Yeah,
that's
interesting. It's similar. But I
yeah.
don't know waka, well, I don't know what that means in Dakota.
Well, I'm assuming snake. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. But yeah, so that's interesting. What
Well,
other
before we
words?
I don't know, but before we get into more trouble, maybe we
I
should
know.
go right to, Governor Evers.
We
What do you
should.
think? Alright,
I
let's do
I
that.
think
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Here
Hey,
is Tony Evers, the governor of Wisconsin.
Fair Native Roots Radio. Governor Tony Evers here with my weekly update. Every Wisconsinite should have access to clean and safe drinking water no matter where they live, and lead exposure and poisoning is especially dangerous. There's no safe level of lead exposure for kids. Even a small exposure can affect a kid for life, reducing learning capacity and attention span and affecting academic achievement. So I approved an emergency rule strengthening our lead standards statewide and announced new investments to support kids and families when they are exposed to lead. But we should be working to prevent our kids from ever being exposed to lead in the first place. Wisconsin has recently seen cases of lead poisoning in kids who were exposed to dangerous levels of lead at school. At school, folks. That should never happen anywhere in Wisconsin, period. We have to work together to fix this. I'm asking for bipartisan support to invest over $300 million to help get lead out of our service line, bubblers, schools, homes, and child care centers for good. This includes relaunching the Windows Plus program to support lead-free renovations in schools, homes, and child care centers. And lead is just one contaminant that's affecting kids, families, and water across our state. PFAS exposure at certain levels can mean developmental delays in kids, increased cholesterol levels, reduced immunity response to infections, and even heightened risk for some cancers. And addressing PFAS and other contaminants grows harder and more expensive with each day of delay. Republicans and Democrats must work together to finally get something done on this issue, to strengthen groundwater standards for PFAS and support my investment of over $145 million to fight PFAS contamination statewide. Cleaning up our water is a key part of our work to keep kids and families across Wisconsin healthy and safe. So in 2025, the year of the kid, let's make it happen, folks. Thank you. Back to you, Robert, and Native Roots Radio.
wow, yeah, lead paint is still out there. That's, crazy, and, the PFAS and,
In the
all these
water.
things that yeah, it's just crazy that,
And
that
finding
they'll
all those water levels, with high lead in schools. I
yeah,
mean, like you said, that clean drinking water should be available everywhere. And, high levels of lead should not be showing up in places like school,
yeah.
the drinking water where our kids, drink from all day.
I know, and kind of joking, but I was brought up where lead was in the paint, so kids really got hampered by eating paint chips, that were coming
Oh,
off.
gee.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I have an excuse.
Yeah, well, like I said, like that stuff causes developmental delays, and also that's just what it does to us as humans. I don't, I'm sure it does a lot worse things, or things to the environment and our, waterways and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, we got a lot going on this month.
Yeah, we do.
Just to name a couple, I really like Jazz Appreciation Month, being a former trumpet player and also co-teacher of music at in the high school level, and I just want to give a shout out to my friends and fans out in Madison, Wisconsin, where I lived for a while. The Madison Scouts Drum and Bugle Corps, nationally renowned. Just a big shout out to those guys and the alumni.
Ooh. Cool. All you jazzy folks out there.
Yeah, exactly. Jazz hands.
Well, yeah,
All right.
the month of April is a lot of things. I know we mentioned April is also Sexual Assault Awareness Month. A couple great resources locally here, the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition and the Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center, MIWRC in Minneapolis is a great one. Also, April's also Stress Awareness Month. A lot of things going on locally, at the federal
Federally.
level. Yeah, seriously. Talk about stress, right? So
Exactly.
just make sure you're taking care of yourself, putting yourself first, your physical needs, your emotional needs, things like that. It's also National Autism Awareness Month. It's National Child Abuse Prevention Month, really important one. National Minority Health Month also. National Public Health Week is the first week in April. This is a big one too. I wanted to make sure we mentioned this. April is also Genocide Awareness Month. And this is something that has not been talked about on mainstream media outlets. The more that we get into this year, I'm seeing a lot of the main medias being censored with what we're not seeing. Worldwide protests for us here in the United States that we're not seeing, that broken deal of the ceasefire on Gaza and reattacking the Gaza Strip, that is genocide. And us as Native Americans need to be speaking on that, because when we see things like that, it's, that's trauma. That was something that also happened here to us and was not speaked upon.
Too many innocent people dying for no reason. I mean, Gaza is one thing, but the way they're attacking Palestinians, us Native Americans can definitely relate to that. So,
yes,
free Palestine.
Yes, keep supporting and keep speaking up to those doing the oppressing.
Hey, it's Native Roots Radio. Up next, State Senator Mary Kunesh and her special guest. This is Native Roots Radio.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is often laced into illicit drugs and used to make fake versions of prescription pills. You can't see it, taste it, or smell it. Suppliers mix fentanyl into their products because it's potent and cheap, and the dealer might not even know. Keep yourself and others safe by knowing the real deal on fentanyl. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Did you know that from birth to age 3, simple activities like talking, playing, reading, and singing can profoundly impact your child's development? Little Moments Count is dedicated to providing parents with the resources they need to make the most of these moments. Visit the website littlemomentscount.org to connect to a collection of resources designed to support you in giving your child the best start in life. That's littlemomentscount.org. Now showing at MIA, artist Mary Sully was a visionary ahead of her time. Born on the Standing Rock Reservation, she worked in near obscurity between the 1920s and 1940s, creating intricate, vividly colored drawings that blend Dakota heritage with modern life. Now on display at the Minneapolis Institute of Art, experience the first solo exhibition featuring Mary Sully's work and see how her art challenges traditional ideas of Native and modern art. Only at MIA and always free to visit. Learn more at artsmia.org.
Have you considered a career in the museum field? The Minnesota Historical Society is now accepting applications for its Native American Museum Fellowship. The 10-week summer program is a mix of workshops, seminars, and hands-on internships at the Minnesota Historical Society. It is open to undergraduate students, recent graduates, and community scholars with an interest in museums and heritage studies. Learn more and apply now at mnhs.org/NAI.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Development Institute, or NACD, in Minneapolis.
Hey, I was just down there today, and then down the street, I was just having a little lunch at the Indian Center in Minneapolis. Hey, great to have State Senator Mary Kunesh on here, and we have a guest here that, State Senator, we are so proud to amplify what's happening here with Kelly, and I would like to just kind of in this segment just hand over the show to you and talk to our friend Kelly Miller and introduce her. So again, welcome State Senator Mary Kunesh.
Hi, Matakiape, everybody. Yeah, it's exciting to have Kelly on the show today and share all the good work that she not only is doing right now as a Ramsey County Commissioner, but the work that she's been doing for a long time to help meet the needs of our most needy in our communities. And I'll let Kelly introduce herself, but you know, a new commissioner at the county level is really important, and to have a Native person in that role, especially in the metro area. We have a large urban population of Native folks, and it's not just the Dakota and the Anishinaabe in Minnesota, but, you know, dozens and dozens of tribal members from across the country live in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area and the surrounding suburbs, but we've never had that kind of representation at the county level. And I know a lot of people don't understand what the county does. It's sort of, I don't want to say it's like a hidden level of our governments, but it certainly is a really important one, but not always one that's so much paid attention to. And we are thoroughly appreciative of the work that the county does from a legislative level, because we fund the counties. A lot of the programming and the policy and the funding comes from the state legislature. And then it's up to the county to do those things that we ask them to do, or we tell them to do. Sometimes most of the time we try to fund what we ask them to do. Sometimes it's up to the county to accommodate that. And I know that I've had to work with the county a lot around the Minnesota Indian Family Preservation Act, around foster care, around absenteeism and truancy. Good grief. I wanted to say truism, but truancy. But we really are a very vital part of the work that goes towards meeting the needs of our community. And the county is just like one level closer really to the people, to the neighborhoods, and to the communities. So maybe, Kelly, you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you did before you were handily elected this past November and what you're working on now.
Yeah. Bonjour, everyone. Kelly Nijangachwe Winnekaz, Abitagi Jingukwe, Dash Indu Ojibwe Winnekaz, Magizi Indumdam, Mississaigan, Indum Jaba, Maple Dash Ina. So thank you, everyone. My name is Kelly Miller. I'm the Ramsey County Commissioner for District 7. That includes Maplewood, North St. Paul, and White Bear Lake. So those are the districts that I represent. Prior to this role, so I was just sworn into office beginning of January, but I'm no stranger to our Native community or the community in St. Paul and Minneapolis. Prior to this, I was the Chief Program Officer at Interfaith Action of Greater St. Paul, but I came up on the Department of Indian Work side. So started as a food shelf intern in their food shelf at DIW St. Paul in 2014, and then worked my way up as their director, became their director in 2019, and then oversaw our food shelf, out of school time youth program, diabetes education. When COVID happened, we partnered with the Minnesota Department of Health, and we opened the COVID, we were a COVID community coordinator for the Native American community in all 7 metro counties. So we had a COVID hotline that then changed into testing, that changed into vaccines, and And then our latest and newest program that we started was an economic mobility hub for American Indians in Ramsey County. And that's working with American Indian families in a holistic way, more family coaching approach. And we were able to have 26 of our families receiving guaranteed basic income. So do a pilot on that. So the hub is still going, still working. That's in partnership with the Montessori American Indian Child Care Center. And I handed all that great work off to their new director, which is Teresa Halverson-Lee. She's amazing. And this is, as a county commissioner, is a full-time job. So I did have to resign from Interfaith Action, but I'm still a part of the community. You still see me out at a lot of community events because it's our community.
Yeah. Yeah. We just saw you at the memorial for, for our friend from St. Paul, and that was really great to see them.
Yeah, my daughter loves to dance. She's hoping to run for princess one year, so I was like, well, we got to get out there. You got to keep practicing. So my kids love to be out there on the dancing.
Yeah, yeah. So we it's always interesting at the legislature how we get to interact with the county. Usually, like I've always had really good relationship with Ramsey County. Where I live, I'm in Ramsey County, but I represent 3 different counties: Hennepin County, Ramsey County, and Anoka County. And as I said, a lot of the work that is done at the county level comes through the instruction of the state legislature. And we often will, I'll often meet with them during the summer, like the county folks during the summer, just to say, how's it going? What we asked you to do? Are you able to do it? What are the issues? And so that relationship is really so important when we are looking to really meet the needs of our county. Counties have their own local government, and the elected official is the person that represents those folks. And so it's just really important that that we hear from the county folks when we are putting together our legislative plans and omnibus, and take into consideration what you are all saying. So I'm wondering, have you discovered are some of the top issues or the things that that Ramsey County needs to be working on right now, especially given the fact that there are strings being attached to just about everything coming out of the federal government. And I hope it's not going to affect the counties too much.
So I kind of want to go back to what you hit on earlier, is that people don't really understand what the county does or how much the county impacts your life. Right. And I just want to go, it's important for the counties, like you said, Mary or Senator Kunesh, to interact with our legislators for so many reasons. Counties are the implementers of so much policy and funding that is passed down through the state. So we don't really cover K through 12 or early or higher education, but we do work with a lot of those families. But we definitely do more than the cities, especially when it comes to mandates. We implement the important health and human services programming, the public health, bigger transportation projects, and then even transit systems as well, in collaboration with Metro Transit, which is really huge. I just want to say, I, for one, have enjoyed connecting with the legislators like yourself. We are very fortunate, like you said, we have a great relationship with our legislators at Ramsey County at the board level. A few of them were legislators themselves, so they really understand the importance of that work and keeping those relationships. So we are kind of lucky. We are home to the Capitol and also often called to be part of the official record of testimony. We're active in our statewide association, or also known as the Minnesota Association of Councils. And then we do have government relations staff who are at the Capitol all the time, and they are absolutely fabulous to work with. I've noticed the bigger counties have some staff, which is helpful for tracking bills, getting hearings, helping with some of our coalition work and finding opportunities. But what we're seeing here, and I don't think people, again, I'm still learning this. So, I guess you can quote me, but as I'm still learning, right, some of these mandates and some of these funding opportunities, if they are put onto the county and they come with non-funding, then it essentially leaves us to shift around our budgets. And sometimes I'm hoping that it doesn't have to come down to then as being implemented on the taxpayers. So a worry that I have, and that, we're watching closely here as our county staff and leadership is watching closely, is how like the federal mandates and the federal funding is affecting states, and how states funding is now affecting the counties, because that all has a trickle down effect. And then essentially if the burden is carried more on the counties, then and we are not able to fund that, then it gets brought onto the taxpayers or the levy, or things will have to get cut, right? Those tough decisions will have to be made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think people always realize that there's, a finite amount of dollars out there. And those dollars that we use on all of these services actually come from the taxpayer, and sometimes from fees or things that we charge for. And so, I think we all want to not have to pay the most tax possible, but our tax base is what helps pay for our schools. It helps pay for our roads and bridges. It helps pay for trash and transportation issues. But at the end of the day, if we want to have those really good services that you're all talking about, it is up to the taxpayers. And I know I try to do my best with the taxpayer dollars, and I'm sure you as well.
Yes.
Hey, we are here with State Senator Mary Kunesh and Kelly Miller, Ramsey County Commissioner. We're having a discussion, and also a real congratulations to Kelly for stepping up and doing her duty here, and I really appreciate it. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. We'll be right back after this short break.
Automated Assembly Corporation in Lakeville reminds everyone that child abuse has reached an all-time high. Each year, millions of children suffer from child abuse. Behind the statistics are the lives of innocent children. Help conquer child abuse. If you or someone you know needs help, report what you know to local authorities. Remember, you could save a child's life. This from Automated Assembly Corporation in Lakeville. Call 952-469-6556. Children are our future, and it's a future worth protecting.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. I want to tell you about a better, more environmentally friendly way to care for your lawn with Natural Lawn. Natural Lawn has been treating Minnesota lawns for more than 20 years with organic-based natural products that feed the soil without unnecessary chemicals. That means an envy-worthy, healthier lawn that's safer for your family and your furry friends. Natural Lawn has no contracts and is 100% satisfaction guaranteed. So let Natural Lawn handle your lawn care so you can enjoy your lawn. More at naturalawn.com. When was the last time you had your roof inspected for extreme weather and hail damage? This is Chad, owner of AM 950, to talk about the exterior construction company I trust, Snap Construction. If you've noticed new roofing projects in your neighborhood, your home was likely hit by hail last summer and experienced damage. Snap Construction is helping homeowners like you, and they're the roofing specialists I trust. They are the most well-reviewed contractor in the Twin Cities and have a ton of positive customer reviews from homeowners just like you. Even better, Snap Construction's installations are backed by a lifetime warranty, so you know you're dealing with a qualified roofing expert. You want to work with a company that will be here for a long time after the work is done. Snap Construction has handled thousands of claims and will help you through the process. Do yourself a favor and get a free roofing inspection so you have the facts and peace of mind you deserve. Call Snap Construction today at 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP. Or visit snapconstruction.com. Hey, it's Patrick. Spring showers may bring May flowers, but they also bring big savings with Zero Res. And right now, you can beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority booking by calling our heroes at Zero Res. Zero Res removes winter's buildup and lingering odors, giving your home a fresh, spring-ready feel, preparing your home for the brighter days ahead. Just check out the almost 21,000 raving customer service reviews online with a 4.9 Google rating and see what all the hype is about. This month, get 3 rooms Zero Resified from Minnesota's #1 carpet cleaner, starting at just $119, and take $75 off an air duct cleaning as well. You owe it to yourself and your family to breathe healthy, happy, and clean. Call Zero Res right now at 952-ZERO-RES or go online to ZeroResMinnesota.com and say you want the AM 950 special. Spell it backward or forward, it's the same. Zero Res. You're listening to AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Turn to Auto Technical with your vehicle donation. Even though Auto Technical is a small nonprofit, we have helped more families with transportation than any organization in Minnesota. Since '94, we have reconditioned donated vehicles so they have a higher tax benefit. Call Richard at 612-919-5526, 612-919-5526, or autotech.org.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilliup. Rain and snow possible tonight with a low of 28, then Saturday sunshine with a high of 45. Welcome back to warmer weather with the hottest music in the Twin Cities at Crooner's Supper Club in Fridley. Crooner's is located just north of I-694 off Highway 65 and Moore Lake Drive. Check out their food menus and concert schedules at croonersmn.com.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Yes, they do. Hey, we are here with State Senator Mary Kunesh of the great state of Minnesota, and we're celebrating here with Kelly Miller, our Ramsey County Commissioner, Native American. And I want to hand this back over to you to State Senator Mary Kunesh, and this has been a very interesting conversation. And again, welcome back, everybody.
Yeah, welcome back is right. It's really been fun chatting with Kelly, and we were saying, oh, it went by so fast already, but I just wanted to touch on one thing that the counties do, and they do so well, and that is to provide free public access to public libraries through the county. You know, in Minnesota, the funding for our public libraries is sort of a mixed bag of funding. It comes from our local taxes, from the state allocation, meaning like me at the legislature, federal grants like library services and technology, and then oftentimes there's some donations. Mm-hmm. So I know that there's some really great libraries in your county, Kelly, and I'm wondering if you would just want to talk a little bit about this really absolutely important resource that our community has access to, and perhaps, if the funding were to go away, what kind of an impact would that be, do you think?
Yeah, so Ramsey County, a lot of people get that confused, the city libraries with the county libraries. Ramsey County owns and operates 7 Ramsey County libraries, and they are in various locations like White Bear Lake, North St. Paul, Maplewood, Shoreview, Mounds View, and I think that's it, I believe. And Arden Hills as well. So each library is a different size. I know North St. Paul's library, which is in my district, is like a small satellite location, but it sees a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And the services that they provide there are just essential for the community. They're really like a hub, and they also have some Ramsey County service sites available there, and navigators on site to help them with more than just, access to the books, to the study rooms, to the, the resources and the classes that they offer. So, it's a great resource for our community members. And, I believe as well that you don't get overdue fees any longer. The Ramsey County Board, did away with the fees many years ago, which is really beneficial. And, making sure that the hours are accommodating and just that it's accessible for community members. So funding levels, if funding is decreased, I'm not 100% sure how that would affect us, but I could only imagine that it would affect our services that we provide in some capacity. There's a lot of programming that is tied into the library for teens, for children, for adults, right? Like it's really a place where people can gather and learn and, go to for more than just, to sit around and, to sit or read or check out a book. But we don't want to lose any of those essential services.
No, absolutely not. I think some folks know that I was a library media specialist in elementary and middle schools and providing the library services and the technology. But I also, for a number of years, was a part-time resource librarian at the Roseville Library. And I got to do all kinds of stuff at the front desk where we would answer any questions that came to us. We'd help them folks find any book that they wanted or information on subjects. We could request information and resources from a number of other libraries across the country. So we could ask law libraries or academic libraries or specialty libraries for materials, and they would send them to us, and then we would get them to the person who requested it. But I got to work in the children's area, all sorts of different things, and it was amazing. You were talking about programming. At one point, I would go out and do technology classes at different libraries, and especially for like the elderly who wanted to learn how to stay connected to their loved ones. You know, they didn't know very much about the internet or having an email address or how to get pictures or how to send pictures. I mean, those are the sort of things that it provides for our communities. And it's also a safe place for, oftentimes we'll see the unhoused folks come in and sit there and use the facilities as well. So our libraries are incredibly valuable, and I know that Ramsey County is doing a great job with theirs.
Yeah, they just remodeled the Maplewood Library, and it was really cool because in my previous work at DIW and with St. Paul Indians in Action, we were able to make sure that our language was included in some of the hello and welcoming. So that's really nice to see our native language as well, both Ojibwe, Dakota, and maybe even Ho-Chunk might be included. I might have made them include that. I'll have to check when I go there.
Bless you.
I like that you made them do those things.
Yeah, you know, it's all about, we're a very diverse community, right? Like we have diversity in our community, and that's why it's so awesome to even just be on the board, right? Like our board and our leaders should represent our communities, and I feel like our Ramsey County Board of Commissioners is the most diverse in the state. I think we also can say we have probably the most youngest commissioners on board as well. So Commissioner McMurtry likes to say that. I think we're the youngest too. I'm like, I'm going with it. I'm going to say it too. I don't know if it's true, but I'm going to say it too.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Well, gosh, we really appreciate you stopping in, Kelly, and wow, congratulations. And I just want to say, as an old elder here, I'm very proud of you, and I've known you for quite a few years, and see you in community with your family, and keep up the great work.
Thank you so much, Chimigwich, for having me on. I'm going to go home and get home to my children. So have a great day.
Right
Bye, Kelly.
Bye,
Kelly.
Bye.
Wow, that was great. And thank you, State Senator, for facilitating that great conversation.
Yeah, Kelly is, you know, the kind of person you want representing you, because not only does she have the interest of our Indigenous community, but she's interacted with all the variety of community members, and she understands, you know, the really basic needs and issues that face our communities in this day and age. And when I heard that she was running, I was really, really excited and thought I couldn't think of a better person to take that role. And so I'm excited that she actually got elected. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned a little bit about libraries. I know, I wonder if we could talk a little bit more about libraries and museums here, and again, hit the red alert button.
Yeah, you know, as the chair of education finance, under my jurisdiction is not just K-12 education, but I'm also have the budget responsibility for libraries and museums. And we have a lot of fabulous little libraries across the state. And, you know, some very big, fabulous metropolitan libraries, as well as museums, you know, really unique sort of local museums that focus on, you know, the local history across Minnesota. And we have the Children's Museum, we have the Science Museum, we have, you know, all these incredible museums in Minnesota, as well as libraries. And I get to help, you know, allocate the dollars for many of these libraries and museums, and they've been so underfunded, especially our libraries have been so underfunded for way too long. But unfortunately, we received some really sad information this past week where the entire staff at the federal level, at the federal agency that funds all these museums and libraries, have been put on leave. Like the entire staff. It's been totally basically wiped out. And when you say administrative leave, nobody knows what that means. Will they be called back? Will they just never, will they just become redundant? What is going to happen here? So on Monday, the federal government let go or put them on leave, the entire agency. And while it's a small agency, federal agency, it's only 70 employees. So honestly, if you're looking for cost savings at the federal level, is this the right place? And so it means that the awards and the grants and the funding to museums and libraries across the United States are we're unsure of what's going to happen there. Minnesota itself receives $4.7 million from the federal government around libraries and museums. And maybe that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but when we have small budgets to begin with, this is going to affect Minnesota's Department of Children, Families, and Learning, because they do grants to state libraries, the Science Museum, the Walker Art Center. There's a museum called the Goldstein Museum of Design. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it is really a unique one. We're just talking to Kelly about Ramsey County. Their historical society is going to be very much affected, as well as the Wiseman Art Museum. And so, that's kind of where we are and what's kind of part of what's going on at the federal level. It's their budget, that they grant out is approximately $266 million. And I know the Trump Musk administration is looking for waste, fraud, and abuse, but I have a hard time believing you're going to find much in that area. And I'm really very sad and very nervous, because we also have heard some mandates coming down for public education. I don't know enough about them, but enough to know that they are requiring school districts to eliminate and remove anything that has to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion. And of course, that's going to have a huge impact on how we do things in Minnesota, when we are very, very intentionally looking for ways to resource our community members that have been the least resourced for the longest time.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have more information on that next week, hopefully. That just dropped a few hours ago, and I saw some former teachers put that up. State Senator, thank you so much for coming on. It's a big deal. It's a huge deal and a great day to see you at the Capitol and see you working and in community. So thanks again for being on Native Roots.
Absolutely. Wapilatanka to all of you.
We'll see you next week. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back. Have you considered a career in the museum field? The Minnesota Historical Society is now accepting applications for its Native American Museum Fellowship. The 10-week summer program is a mix of workshops, seminars, and hands-on internships at the Minnesota Historical Society. It is open to undergraduate students, recent graduates, and community scholars with an interest in museums and heritage studies. Learn more and apply now at mnhs.org/NAI.
Now showing at MIA, artist Mary Sully was a visionary ahead of her time. Born on the Standing Rock Reservation, she worked in near obscurity between the 1920s and 1940s, creating intricate, vividly colored drawings that blend Dakota heritage with modern life. Now on display at the Minneapolis Institute of Art, experience the first solo exhibition featuring Mary Sully's work and see how her art challenges traditional ideas of Native and modern art. Only at MIA, and always free to visit. Learn more at artsmia.org. Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jim Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema, and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
Everyone knows I love Rudy Luther Toyota, but do you know who else loves Toyotas? Consumer Reports. They're out with their best of 2025 auto issue, and once again, it reads Toyota, Toyota, Toyota. Of the new 2025 models, Consumer Reports recommends the Prius, Corolla, Corolla Hybrid, the Camry, the Sienna, the Corolla Cross Hybrid, the RAV4, the RAV4 Hybrid, the Highlander, and the Highlander Hybrid. In almost every class, you'll find a Toyota. Find one for yourself at Rudy Luther Toyota, the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
In this portion of the show, we like to bring awareness to our Minnesota wolf population. Say no to the hunts.
Wow. Hey, Wendy, there's a lot of pressure on. We've had a great show so far. I want to introduce my awesome, beautiful wife, Wendy. Wendy's been an animal advocate for many years and co-founder and starting Native Roots Radio over 7 years ago. And I've learned so much over the years with your segments. And tell everyone where you're at and welcome.
Yes. Hey, everybody. I hope not to ruin the show. So far, so good. My name is Hanaji Hihani. That means cares for them. I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajingo, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a humane policy volunteer leader for the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level. It's always my pleasure to do that. And we're going to be talking about a few fun things today.
Yay.
So there was a grizzly bear named Boo, B-O-O. He's very well known and well loved, and he lives at a ski resort in Golden, British Columbia, and he was filmed emerging from under the piles of snow as he woke from hibernation, and you could go on and watch the little video. It's really, really cute. So his name is Boo, B-O-O, and he's the grizzly bear from Golden, British Columbia. So check that out. It's a really cute little video. The other thing I want to mention, Robert, and I've talked about this before on the show, Robert and Haley, about wildlife overpasses that go over the highways. Mm-hmm. So there's these wildlife overpasses, and they go over highways to help wildlife get from one end to the other without them getting hit by cars. And there is one right now at the 101. This is from California News. 101 freeway. It's to close overnight tonight because they're going to accommodate the workers that are building this really large wildlife overpass in Los Angeles County. So they're going to close that to work on that tonight. But these things are really wonderful because not only do they save wildlife, they save human lives too, because there's so many deaths that happen when people hit animals in the road and just costs a lot of money. But anyway, this is really great news. And they also built many underground tunnels for the animals to be able to get by safely. So the construction crews broke ground on the Southern California Wildlife Crossing in the spring of 2022, and it's expected to be completed by 2025. This is going to be a really big one. The price tag for the project, which was originally estimated to be more than $90 million. So this is a really great project. It's going to save a lot of lives. In September 2022, Governor Gavin Newsom signed legislation to require the state to identify locations where animals face barriers that separate them from moving freely and prioritize building or converting existing infrastructure to allow them to cross more safely. So I love that story, and I hope that they keep doing that, because it's really important that we save the animals and people don't get their cars all crashed up. The other thing I wanted to talk about, since it's Friday and we're talking about Fun Fact Friday, I can't remember where we left off. I think it was like number 22. So I'm just kind of scrolling to get to number 22 here from last Friday. I have 101 fun facts here. Oh, here we go. Oh, I did mention this one, the fastest land animal. And Haley, you guessed it correctly. Could you remind our audience who the fastest land animal on the planet is?
It's the cheetah.
That's right. And the cheetah can reach speeds up to 75 miles per hour. I mean, that's crazy. If you just think about going in your car and driving 75 miles an hour, that's like so fast.
Freeway speeds.
That's crazy. That's astonishing. Baby elephants suck their trunks for comfort.
Oh,
isn't that cute? Just like a little kid who sucks their thumb.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
Elephants, sucks their trunk. The Nile crocodile's jaw can apply 5,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. That's the strongest bite of any animal in the world.
Oh, yeah.
I want to make sure I stay away from that.
Me too.
The giant Pacific octopus has 3 hearts, 9 brains, and blue blood.
What does?
The giant Pacific octopus.
Wow.
Yeah, it has 3 hearts, 9 brains, and blue blood.
Blue blood.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Like a rich person.
Yeah. Well, be really careful with fleas, because a flea can jump distances 200 times their body length.
200?
200 times their body length. That's a pretty far jump. They're able to jump 10 inches vertically and up to 18 inches horizontally, making them one of the planet's best jumpers relative to their size. It's equal to a human jumping as high as the Empire State Building in New York.
Whoa.
That's crazy. That's a flea.
Yeah, that is pretty wild.
I know. Well, Wanda, it's coming this time of the season here in the spring where we don't want her to get fleas or heartworm from mosquitoes.
Yeah. Yeah, I just had my dog at the vet this morning, actually.
Did you?
And they were really talking and pushing all the flea and the spring tick stuff. And
I know. I have. Listen, I put it on my dog. I give her the heartworm pills, but it always kind of gives me a little anxiety, just because I'm like, oh my God, this is like poison that I'm giving my dog. And I've gone back and forth with so many friends, and I don't know, just talking about it. But anyway, there's a lot of natural remedies out there too. If that's what you want to go for, that's great. Whatever. The male seahorse goes through pregnancy and gives birth to babies.
Yes.
They're the only animal on earth where the male carries the baby rather than the female, and that's the male seahorse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. We kind of knew that. And I've talked about this before, but this is number 29. And this seems to come up on all my fun facts. The puffer fish, we talked about that, contains toxins. And it's 12 times more deadly than cyanide to humans. And there is enough toxin in one puffer fish to kill 30 adult humans. And there is no known antidote. However, dolphins, bottlenose dolphins, have been known to play around with these puffer fish because they're immune to this toxin, and instead of dying from it, they get high. And the dolphins can play around with the puffer fish and take in this toxin and get high.
Wow. I just like hearing you say puffer fish.
Puffer fish, yeah.
Thank you.
I know. Well, they could kill us, but
the
30 of us.
The dolphins get high. Yeah. Oh, we got 1 minute left here. Let's see if I could pick out a howler monkey is the loudest land animal. Its call can be heard from 3 miles away. A howler monkey. Yeah, there's a lot of different species of monkeys and different kinds of animals like that in the world. So, yeah, Greenland sharks are the longest living vertebrates on Earth, with one individual thought to be over 400 years old, and that's the Greenland sharks.
Wow, Wendy, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for these fun facts. And wow, that really flew.
Yeah, everybody have a great weekend.
Right on. Hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio. We'll see you Monday.
You remember that invincible feeling you used to have? Boundless energy,